deception. Bill in Congress would ban gun ownership at will. And it says on May 13th, Democrat Representative Carolyn McCarthy introduced the No Fly, No Buy Act, H.R. 2401. This is a new bill. They got another bill where the Attorney General could ban any guns he wants at will. This is tyranny. You know, that Kim Jong-il in North Korea, he can do whatever he wants. He's a dictator. Well, it's the same thing with this. On May 13th, Democrat Carolyn McCarthy introduced the No Fly, No Buy Act, H.R. 2401. A bill that will merge the TSA's no-fly list with the National Instant Background Criminal Check system, which I always told you was a way of listing you as a terrorist. Hey, I told you years ago they were going to merge this with the no-fly. I'm going to come back in 70 seconds. I hope stations carry this 5 minutes, and then we'll break all this down in detail, and we got a big guest coming up. Stay with us. We're scheduled to have the inventor of GNU Linux coming up in the next segment. I know I said we'd have open phones. We will later, too. It's just so much is going on. Right now, let me finish up with the attack on the Second Amendment. There's one bill introduced where the Attorney General can ban any firearms at will. It's just like Congress voted to give all its authority over trade to foreign private World Trade Organization, or UNESCO treaty that gives control over our schools and our policies, and the globalists want an international criminal court with the U.S. signed on, and Obama says he supports a treaty to waive our rights with the Second Amendment. And then they have the nerve to get on the news and say, we don't get these crazy people buying guns at record levels. We don't want their guns, while the Attorney General, the White House Chief of Staff, the President, all have called publicly or introduced legislation to ban even single-shot .22s, to take every firearm from the American people, including black powder. Total gun ban on record, bills introduced to do it, and they just keep saying, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean, these people, you thought Bill Clinton lied. You thought George Bush lied. I mean, Obama says he's going to get rid of torture, then he keeps it going, secret arrest, secret internment, no rights for detainees, grab U.S. citizens, use the Patriot Act on citizens, keep warrantless wiretapping going on, hire nothing but lobbyists. It's all what the Obama deception covers. You've got to show it to people. I love this country so much, folks, and this is hardcore tyranny. I mean, this is the real deal. Listen to this bill. And little old Infowars, little old Kurt Nimmo gets an email from a listener pointing out the bill and writes a story about it Sunday night. The NRA isn't going to talk about it. Nobody's going to talk about it, folks, but us. And on May 13th, Democrat Representative Carolyn McCarthy introduced the No Fly, No Buy Act. See, we told you last week this other bill could do that because the language allowed them to. This states it. They got 3 bills to do this. There's the White House Chief of Staff calling for it to be passed. What more do you need, man? They'll still be in denial, though. They're trained to be slaves. On May 13th, Democrat Representative Carolyn McCarthy introduced the No Fly, No Buy Act, H.R. 2401. A bill that will merge the TSA's no-fly list with over 1,100,000 Americans with the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, NICS. And this is already in place. Veterans, conservatives, people try to go buy guns, are told sorry, and then they go through the appeals process and they say, sorry, no more Second Amendment. See, guilty until proven innocent, then they appeal it and they're told, you can't be told why you don't get a gun, sorry. It's already happened. Just like they were already spying on us without warrants before they passed a law to do it. The last time I heard, bastards, you didn't repeal the Fourth Amendment. You're criminals. You're rogue. You can pass a law saying blacks aren't humans. It's a fraud. I'm calling you out. You're a stinking criminal fraud. On May 13th, Democrat Representative Carolyn McCarthy introduced the No Fly, No Buy Act, H.R. 2401, a bill that will merge the TSA's no-fly list with the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, a point-of-sale system for determining eligibility to purchase a firearm in the United States. Guam, Puerto Rico. It was created in November of 1993 when the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act of 93, Public Law 103-159, was signed into law. Permanent provisions of the Brady Act went into effect November 30th, 1998, and require the U.S. Attorney General to establish NICS. And she goes on with a quote, and we have the bill. It says, we will secretly put you on this list. You will no longer be able to buy firearms, and then the states are going to be implemented that you have guns illegal, and the SWAT teams are coming. So now you don't just aren't able to go on a plane, you know, old guy on a walker, I've seen it. I'm on no-fly list. Yep. And they call you in and ask you questions and jab you and ask you. It's all about take your shoes off, be a slave, answer questions, go in a body scanner, humiliate yourself, be trained to be a slave. And it says improve Homeland Security sections, governmenttrack.us. The increase public safety and reduce the threat of domestic security threat by including persons who may be prevented from boarding an aircraft with the National Instant Criminal Background System. So see, no judge, no jury, no arrest, no misdemeanor, no felony, no indictment, no nothing. You just secret list, no more rights. And folks, here's the key. It's going to be for everything, for buying, for selling, for jobs. This global system, just like Michael Savage can't go to England or Europe, just like I can't go to Canada, they're going to put us all on these global lists where we can't travel. This is only the beginning. They've stated it. That's the key. Many human illnesses can be attributed to...
For your mind.
You know, I saw an article quoting Richard Stallman about attacks on the internet and its infrastructure and free speech. And I told my producer to get him on. And when the two IT guys here at the office found out about it, they were very giddy today because this guy is quite a bigwig in the architecture of browsers, the internet, you name it. Richard Stallman, GNU Linux inventor. Richard Matthew Stallman, often abbreviated RMS, is an American software freedom activist, hacker, and software developer. In September '83, he launched the GNU Project to create a free Unix-like operating system and has been the project's lead architect and organizer with the launch of the GNU Project. He started the free software movement and in October 1985 set up the Free Software Foundation. You know, if I go over his whole bio, we'll never get to him, but this is one of the, you know, I know they say Al Gore invented the internet, even though it was around, 30 years ago. And I know they say he probably invented the moon, actually, and the galaxy. But, when we talk about some of the folks that actually really contributed to the infrastructure of the free web as we know it, this guy's certainly an icon in what we know as the modern web, Richard Stallman. I want to get him on because they're trying to get rid of net neutrality. They're trying to change how the web works. The head of cybersecurity quit 2 months ago. We talked to him. He says he's not ready to come on the air right now. He's behind the scenes stuff, but he said the feds are taking it over. The Pentagon's taking over the web. And then it came out in the news that they are taking over the actual hubs of even smaller internet, telecom systems. So to try to break all this down with us is Richard Stallman. Richard, so much is going on, and we've got you for the about 45 minutes or so. It's great to have you here with us.
Well, I'm pleased to have a chance again.
You bet. Okay, you've got the floor. What do you think's most important? I mean, you've dedicated your entire professional career to liberty and freedom on this wonderful thing we call the internet. How did it start? Where are we going?
Well, first, I have to correct a couple of things. I've never worked on web browsers myself. I'm happy to say that there are some free, freedom-respecting web browsers, but I didn't write any of them.
Now, what I meant was just setting up an infrastructure, but I mean, the group they have here that you set up is involved in a whole bunch of stuff, is my point, but go ahead.
Yes. We developed, first of all, the GNU operating system, which gets used together with Linux, the kernel, and that's the main freedom-respecting operating system that lets you use your computer without handing over control to some company. Now, we know that Microsoft Windows has a backdoor that allows Microsoft to forcibly impose changes in software without asking permission of the supposed owner of the machine. And we know that macOS has a similar backdoor, except that it's Apple that can forcibly impose changes. They can change anything they want in the software, which means they can wipe the floor with whoever's using that machine. So, in effect, these two systems have no security at all against that particular company.
And then we see U.S. Senators